Thank you, Sheriff and Chris. Yeah, I can't see you guys, right? So shout. I need to perhaps think of a way around that in future, or maybe get somebody to help me. But if I'm going to blog in HubSpot at the minute, I've just I can add, as you would expect to see, I can add all the sort of units that you would expect, all the functionality that you would expect from a theme perspective, from the commerce, media, videos, everything else. But obviously, what I want to be able to do the most of is to be able to write and to be inspired to write as well. And the AI assistant pops up in HubSpot. It's actually just popped up there. But with a /. Okay, so if I hit / in my edit box, hopefully you can see that, I can generate a paragraph, an outline, an idea, or even a conclusion for my blog. So let's maybe create an outline. And who have we got? Let's pick somebody. Sean, I'll pick on you. Let's write a blog on the state of sales enablement.
Yeah.
Enablement in 2023. Fortunately, AI corrects my spelling as well. So let's have a look what that comes up with. So I'll just put around. Obviously, I've not prepared this with Sean.
No.
We don't know each other. We've never met each other.
No.
If I don't like it, I can have a quick scan of it. If I don't like it, I can regenerate it. But let's just insert that in so you can see. So there's my blog outline. Okay, and it's given me even instructions for headings and the topics that I want to talk about. So the evolution of sales enablement comes up first. The rise of artificial intelligence in sales enablement, how AI is revolutionizing. Right, so there's my whole blog generated as an outline, which is pretty impressive. I can do that. I've yet to find a product that AI, the HubSpot AI, has yet to trip over. But let's give it a real test. Steve is in the room with Leanne. Let's write an outline on underground GPS. I figure Internet of Things, Steve, which I know you guys also do, is a bit of an easy one, right? Let's see what it comes up with when it comes to underground GPS. I probably better put that into. Let's do a paragraph on it this time. All I'm doing so far is demonstrating how bad my typing is. Let's have a look what it comes up with. So Steve, you're going to need to verify this for us. Underground GPS, also known as subterranean positioning, is an innovative technology that aims to revolutionize navigation in underground environments. Does that all look right to you?
Yeah.
Well,
I've never heard anybody say subterranean positioning. Subterranean sounds like something out of Stingray or something.
Stingray.
For those of a certain age.
Well, that's one of the things I do notice about, like, when it sounds very Americanized, and I think that's one of the things, considerations. And sorry if I'm jumping the gun a little bit. I think just sort of interpreting, making sense of it in a localized way is something to bear in mind with all this.
So what I could do, is a very good point, actually, young Sean, who I've never met. I can change the tone of it if I want to make it a bit more friendly or professional. As you can see, I can shorten it or expand on it, or I could just ask it to rewrite. But what's really interesting is that you can, in the settings, you can actually, and I won't bore you with it now because I'm going to run out of time, but in the settings, you can change your tone. So you can actually, in effect, train it as you go along to make sure that it's going to talk increasingly in your voice, which we'll come up on in a little bit more. We'll cover in a little bit more depth a bit later.
Which licenses is this available in, Tony?
That's a very good question.
I try.
So AI Assistant is free across the whole of the HubSpot infrastructure, and however, I'm in Pro, Marketing Pro here, which is why I've got the blog post tool the way that it is. It might look different. Perhaps Laura or Sheriff would be able to weigh in to tell me, but AI Assistant itself is free. Okay, so some of the other AI that's coming, let me go back to myself for a minute. So that's, I'm not stopping the recording, I'm stopping the sharing. That's there so far. As I say, it works in marketing emails for you. It works in some of the sales emails for you. It works in the conversations inbox. So does everybody know? Do you want to see what the conversations inbox means? Does everybody get me when I talk about the conversations inbox? Your support inbox in HubSpot, right?
No, I don't. I don't.
Okay, so I'll just quickly show you that as well. Sorry, you're going to see all your faces again. Right, if I jump out of that. So if I go into conversations in HubSpot and I go into the inbox, this is where your unified communications are coming in, right? So my live chat comes into here, my Facebook Messenger, my website forms, my emails to info at or sales at, they all come in here, okay? And I'm able to create and deal with these depending on where they are, live in the portal. I can route these inquiries to create tickets. I can create deals. I can associate them with people, with contacts that are already there, or I can create new contacts. I can pretty much see everything I need to see about this person who's making the inquiry. And I can also use the chat spot. Actually, it's here. I can use HubSpot. I'm sorry. I can use HubSpot to provide me with text. So if I want to say I'm really sorry about that, and I highlight it, then I click on I can rewrite, I can expand, I can shorten, I can change the tone. I didn't see that bit. I can even draft a message there. I can also comment and bring other people into this chat as well. So if there's somebody working with you that is going to be useful, you can bring them in to the chat so that they can help that customer straight off the bat. And again, this is a free in HubSpot. Some of the functionality is improved as you go through Starter into Pro and into Enterprise, but it just lives there for you. The content assistant lives there. All right, Chris. I'm assuming he said yes. He's muted himself.
I did my thumbs up, but you obviously can't see us. So
no,
yes.
I'm back on the screen now, so I can see again. So some of the other things that we've got coming down the pipe. I'm really keen to get onto the demo around the lead flow. So I just want to talk through this quickly. So we've got AI agents coming down the pipe. Now, what that's going to do eventually is going to allow that live chat that you've seen HubSpot is able to provide to read your web pages. I know, sit down, right? Read your web pages and your knowledge base articles, should you have them in HubSpot, and answer questions directly for your customers when they come to your website. It's going to use the content on your website to answer customer questions for you, just saving them time. And obviously, it's still going to route to a real person if you want to do that. You're going to be able to pick it up as a real person if you want to do that. It's not takeover of the HubSpot robots. But the fact that it's going to scan and be able to regurgitate your website is really, really interesting. Franco!
Oh,
my friend.
hi, Tony. Sorry,
Oh.
I'm just popping in. I want to have a look at Bevy. I'm being curious. Hi, Sean.
Hey, you right?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Turn your music off or mute yourself if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Sorry.
No, it's not a problem. Thank you very much. Great to see you. So we've got AI agents. We've got AI insights coming down the pipe. So I don't know if you're familiar with HubSpot's reporting, but HubSpot's reporting is pretty legendary at this point. Let me share again. So once again, we're not going to be able to see you guys, so shout out if you need me. Within reporting, there's quite a bit of AI functionality coming down the pipe. So we click on reports. Let's have a look at the dashboards. For instance, most people have some dashboards set up. This is our web analytics dashboard. There are a couple of improvements I'm going to be able to make to this. One of them, I'm going to be able to use HubSpot AI to build a report. I'm going to be able to, when I add a report, ask the report to tell me the thing that I need to know. And it's going to build the report for me. I'm also going to be able to use the AI to describe the report. So if you were to click on a report in HubSpot, you'll get a little description as to what's going on. Let's have a look at the sessions report. You get a little about section here, and as you say, there's not an awful lot to see on this one as it happens. I could edit it if I wanted to make that bigger for other people, other users, perhaps aren't as familiar with I am as to the terminology here, but the HubSpot AI will shortly be able to populate that description for you as well, just saving an absolute ton of time. So it's going to be building these insights for you, and it's going to be able to comment on the insights for you as well. And just to show you then ChatSpot, which you'll now find in your HubSpot portal, just lives here. ChatSpot is HubSpot's main AI tool. Okay, so in case you didn't see that, I went to my login and I pulled down the menu and I clicked on ChatSpot, and it's taken me into HubSpot's own AI. So this is kind of like HubSpot's version of GPT, ChatGPT. And you can see every week you can see improvements coming into this device. Now this works as a generative AI on its own right, but what's also interesting is you can plug it into your HubSpot account. And when you plug it into your HubSpot account, you'd be pleased to hear, Chris, that it doesn't share any of the personal data in your CRM, but it allows you to access your data using natural language. It's also got a load of templates already ready for you that you can use if you want to give them a try. So for instance, if you want to summarize a YouTube video, it'll do that. If you want to summarize a company within HubSpot, your HubSpot, you could do that. Chris, sorry, Steve, is it all right if I summarize Kronos, see if it pops up?
Sure.
So if I want to
I'm intrigued.
See what it says about Kronos.uk.
Except it's an O, not a U, Mr. Typist.
See, I usually have people who do these things for me. So it's created, there you go, it's got very little in there. But I can jump over to...
But the domain is .co.uk though, isn't it, Steve? Not .uk.
No. That's the right domain. We changed the domain a couple of years ago, Chris.
So that it's just there you go, Chris, just for proof. Yeah. It's just summarized what the CRM says about. Thank you very much, Steve. ChatSpot, there you go. There's a load of other stuff in here. The thing I find the most useful, and again, Steve, this might be of value to you, is the research stuff. So if I go back to chat and I make a new search for show me companies in Cardiff using HubSpot, then it'll spit out my research for me. And as you can see, I can find out a little bit more about those companies by clicking on the research button, and it'll give me a bit of an insight from the HubSpot Insights database, or I can directly...
What's the count on that? How many in Cardiff?
The count, according to this, it doesn't give me the count. It just allows me to see more results. 108 companies, I'm sorry, 108.
Okay. So if you did, how many sporting bodies, Steve, Tony, would that come up? Your typing is terrible. It's bad as mine.
It's because you're watching me. It's because people are watching me.
In Wales, yeah.
If that lands that,
there we are. Tony, you're doing a freebie for Chris on a live stream.
Okay.
Well, it's giving you 10.
Yeah. Okay.
This is not an exhaustive list, it says, but with a few more prompts, you would probably be able to dig out a bit more. So as you can see, you can also set up new subscriptions. You can write sales emails for yourself. You can write marketing emails. You can generate lines, write a blog, use it for keywords and keyword research. You can do things in your CRM through natural language, like add contacts, add a deal, add a ticket, summarize your companies. You can create images in HubSpot, which is just absolutely fantastic. It'll show you how to do things in HubSpot. It'll give you company insights like we've just looked at. It'll help you build your reports, and it'll help you, as we just discovered, it'll help you with your prospecting. Okay, that's live right now in HubSpot. As I said, you click on there and you click on Chat AI, chatspot.ai, that'll take you to that screen.
And how do we ensure it's connected to our HubSpot?
If you go into ChatSpot here, there'll be a gap to allow you to connect to your HubSpot portal, and then you just upload it. So you don't actually have to do that if you don't want to, but you can see you can either use it with a HubSpot account or without a HubSpot account. Okay, I just want to run through my list now really quickly, my list of other AI stuff that's come in. Okay, just to whet your appetite. There's plenty there to play with for the minute. There's quite a few bits and bobs coming down the line that are at the moment in a combination of private and public betas. So some of these will be available to you. Oh, let me share again. Some of these will be available to you in your product update screen. So your product update screen is here. It's not here, it's here. Your product update screen again lives in your menu where your account is, and it lives under product updates. If you click on product updates, it'll show you everything that's been updated in your portal and when it was updated. And if you click on this nice little beta, it'll also show you the things that you can join to get early work with. So there we go. I can join the public beta for report descriptions with HubSpot AI. You click on join, you enroll your entire account, accept the terms and conditions, join the beta, and you're in. It's as easy as that. We've got some more Teams development stuff going on there, Steve.
Right.
Large export warning notification. So there's loads of things, everything you can possibly imagine, right? And that's where you find it, guys, in your product updates and then under beta. So coming down the pipe for AI. We've got, and I'm just going to read the list. Some of them are public, some of them are private. AI forecasting. Sean, your teams are going to love this. Basically, taking what's in your deal stages at the minute. Leanne, as an admin, you like this. Charlene, Steph, this is for you guys. Taking your forecasts out of HubSpot and marrying it with your actuals. It's going to learn how you need to forecast in order to be as accurate as you possibly can. It's going to learn it as you forecast. It's going to get better at forecasting as you go along. We saw AI-powered blog posts, at least to an extent. The subject generator, we can now use AI to generate social media posts. That's a private beta, so that'll be with us very shortly. We have a public beta for AI meta descriptions for those of you. Sean, Sarah, this might be interesting for you. You can now build meta descriptions in your web pages using AI to scan what you've written, and it'll build a meta description for you. You can use, there's a new image generator coming down the pipe that's in private beta. That is absolutely fantastic, even better than the one that's already there. That uses, not Midjourney, I think it uses the other one. I don't know if Sheriff or Laura know which generative image it uses, but guys,
I am not sure. I just know that they can give now 4 options of pictures. And
so it gives you 4 options that you can choose, absolutely, and you can regenerate as you would expect to be able to do. This one is mind-blowing. It's in private. I don't even know whether I should tell you this one. In private beta is the website builder. There's an AI website builder come in. You will answer a couple of questions. Let me just get rid of this because that's going to beep a lot otherwise. You'll be able to answer a couple of questions, put your logos, tell what you want to tell it, what you want to sell, if you sell services or products. And within seconds, you'll have a fully fledged functioning website built on HubSpot CMS ready to go. So those of us who are of a web development persuasion will be looking at that development with great interest. I don't know if you know, guys, but on free HubSpot, you now have the ability to host a small website for free. And in Starter HubSpot, you can actually launch a relatively decent website. 40 quid a month gives you all of the HubSpot hubs on a starter level. It's like the best deal in the universe, right? That means you could host and build a website within seconds just by answering a few questions about what you want to do. We've got AI chatbots in development. We sort of touched on that already. The AI assisted report designer is in public beta at the moment. AI generated reports is coming as a private beta. We've got generated workflow descriptions. Steph, Charlene, you guys who are using workflows, it's always a good idea to explain what the workflow does, so the person who comes behind you knows what's going on. But this will be HubSpot reading your workflow and basically detailing what it does for you, saving you a ton of time on the admin side of things. AI landing pages, AI LinkedIn text ads, AI text ads for Facebook, conversations summaries, and obviously we've got the content assistant also in inbox. So Sarah, this is for you. The campaign assistant, as it'll be called in HubSpot, will generate a ton of assets for you through using the AI. You'll build the basics of your campaign. You'll tell it what it is you want to utilize, and the HubSpot will just pop it out for you, including, as I say, landing pages, the meta descriptions, the whole kit. Lara needs to jump off. Thank you very much for joining us. If you've not already gone, I really appreciated your support. Okay, so that takes us on to Sales Hub, which is the exciting bit. There's a bit I really wanted to talk about. Has anybody, as you're all on, and there aren't that many of us, anybody got any questions about any of that lovely AI stuff before I move on to the biggie?
So much to even think about.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it? And it's free. It's bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre. The vast majority of that is free service coming out of HubSpot at the moment. And
so sorry, Tony, just very quickly, you know, when you were talking about the website side of things, you know, that's on. You're talking about the marketing side of the portal.
No, the website side of the portal. So the portal now is now 5 portals, Sean.
All right.
So actually, I think it's fair to say there's probably 6 now. You have a CRM, and then you have a Sales Hub portal, which we're going to look at next. You have a Marketing Hub portal, which you're familiar with. You have a CMS portal, which is the website bit, right? That's all it does is deal with website stuff, if you like.
Yeah.
You have an Ops portal, which is like an automation back-end portal, and you have a Customer Service Hub portal, and which, as the name describes, deals with the customer service side, tickets and chatbots and so on and so on. But what you'll see, launched in Inbound last week, is a development in the UK, probably in the next 3 to 6 months, of something called the Commerce Hub. Ooh. So all of HubSpot's e-commerce functionality is being rebranded and brought together to make it easier to use. In other words, you'll be able to take payment and manage subscription through HubSpot directly.
That's interesting. No, I know that you want to crack on, so I'll be brief.
No, totally, it's fine. No, it's fine.
I've been out the loop with HubSpot for a while. You know, I'm probably going to get chastised by everyone. But
no, I think your knowledge is probably like everybody else's. We all know what we know. You know,
I've been out the loop for a while, so it's really good to dip back in. So yeah. I'm asking these basic questions.
No, it's cool, man. We'll shortly be able to generate invoices directly from our HubSpot deals. We can produce a quote, create an invoice, and collect the payment all end to end through HubSpot, which is awesome. It's going to be really cool. Okay, so let's talk Sales Hub. As everybody knows, my favorite is Sales Hub. I'm a salesperson at heart, and I get very excited when I look at what's new in Sales Hub. Okay, so there's a couple of things new. The first thing you'll notice is this tab. If you've not already got it, you may have to opt into it through the product update that I showed you earlier. This is available in all hubs, I believe, but the functionality we'll be looking at today is in Sales Hub Pro and above. Okay, so the stuff that I'm going to be doing is for those of you with Sales Pro and above. So if you can't see prospecting in your hub, go to product updates and opt into the prospecting beta. Click on it, you'll get this. Now, basically, this is the salesperson's workspace. If I wanted to describe it, that's how I would describe it. If I'm a salesperson using HubSpot, if I'm a BDR or an account exec or anything along those lines, this is where I should be, in my view. This is where I should be basing myself, if you like. I used to say to people, use the task view to manage yourself, but this even includes the task view. So a quick orientation around the screen. What have I got here? You can see there's quite a lot here already. On the summary page, these can be changed. You can drag these around if you prefer a different order. But I've got my tasks at the top. and you can see I'm very good. I'm all caught up on my tasks. And actually I've got 3 overdue tasks. If I wanted to do them, I can just click there and I can go into the tasks, and this will allow me, you notice this will now allow me to complete these tasks from here rather than having to jump back and forth to the task screen, to the contact, to maybe the deal and everything else. I literally just click on start my overdue tasks and I'm there. This is even more awesome. I've not got any sequences running at the minute, but if I wanted to see the sequences and how they looked, so at the minute sequences live here, and I can see the state of my sequences. I can see the analytics of my sequences. These are the sales sequences that I've run over time. All of this information on the live sequences that are currently running will be available to me here. And new to sales sequence as well, if I just hop back, we can now introduce A/B testing in sequences. So I can create a HubSpot sequence. I can go into the sequence and I can check the email, and I can actually create an A/B version of this email. I can do it retrospectively, and I can do it with new sequences going forward. So not only am I going to be able to send a sequence out, but I'm going to be able to test what sequences work the best live as I run them.
Up to 5 sequences, if I remember well, Tony.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
ABCDE.
So five in here, 5 A/B tests.
ABCDE.
Okay. Awesome. So it's not even A/B, it's ABCDE. So you're going to have 5 of them running. Brilliant. And then HubSpot will tell you which ones work the best. I love this. This is even more super sexy. I've now got suggested activities as well. So you can see HubSpot is suggesting I've got 12 new contacts in the CRM, and it's suggesting why don't you reach out to those new contacts. And again, if I click that'll take me to the contacts themselves, and I can work those contacts from here. It's also suggested there are 8 emails that I've not replied to that look like they need a reply. And if I click on those emails, it'll take me to those emails and it'll allow me to reply to them as well. So far, so stunning, I think. I've also got my schedule here. And then I've got the big deal. I've got my leads here. HubSpot has now created a lead flow that you can utilize to process business in the same prospecting view. You don't have to go anywhere else. Now, Steve, particularly, I know this is going to be interesting for you guys. What happens as leads come into the CRM, as leads are generated by your marketing team, Sarah, you may be interested in this as well. These leads will now appear here in the salesperson's screen, either on a round robin basis or because you've determined they're the best person for that lead. You can even do it intelligently. We not only just lump leads in here, we can do it by the territory rep. Charlene, Steph, this would be important. This would be a big deal for you guys as well. As leads come in, they'll appear here for the salesperson. So the salesperson will see their tasks. The salesperson will see the sequences that they're using. The salesperson has suggested activities, and the salesperson has leads that they need to work on.
I think we just need an automation, don't we, Tony, so that they are marked as leads in that particular property, because I had a look at this earlier on and I've got no leads, and that's right, because it's that property, it doesn't say lead.
So that's strictly correct, although there's a little bit more to it than that, Steve. So if I click on leads and I go into the leads section itself, what you can see here are the buckets here. I've got new leads, I've got leads I'm attempting. HubSpot knows I'm attempting on these leads because I've sent an email or I've made a telephone call, and I've got leads I'm connected with. Okay, I'll explain a bit more of that in a minute. But I've also got the ability to add a lead. So Steve, I can search a contact or a company here and just add them manually as a lead.
Okay.
But the magic source is what you've just said about the automation. I can pull in leads. Okay, so I can pull in leads and I can choose the life cycle stage that I want to pull in order to create those leads. So if I said, right, I want to pull in all my new marketing qualified leads, I would say there were 0 of them. Anybody who was marked as an opportunity, as a lead or a marketing qualified lead. I could pull those new leads in just by clicking, and it's also going to allow me to bring in those prospects automatically. So do you want to bring in your leads? Do you want to bring in your leads and your subscribers? Do you want to bring in your leads and your opportunities? Right, you just set that automatically and it just cooks in the background.
Yeah.
Or you do it by, oh, sorry about that, Zoom guys. Or you can do it by life cycle stage. You can do it on, I'm sorry. You set it on life cycle stage, and then you adjust the life cycle stage when a lead is associated elsewhere as well, so that you've got it's end to end. So it ties up on both ends, not just when you set the life cycle stage, but when you set the lead as well. And then that'll bring those new leads in automatically. So now I should have, you can see I've got a few more, well, you should see I've got a few more leads to process. And if I want to process those leads, rather than in the summary screen here where I've got this sort of summary view, I can work them from here. This is brilliant. So these are my leads. I've not used any labels yet, but you can create labels and you can add those as well for an at a glance. Who do I need to speak to first? I can see the company, as you can see, and I can see the stage that this lead is at. And if I want to change those stages, I can do that. But if I want to work this lead, I click on the lead, and this is where the magic happens. I've now got, again, in the same screen, I don't have to jump around. I'm not relying on automation in the background. I'm not changing from my lead screen to my contact screen to anything else. It's here. And my relationship with this contact is here. And my ability to progress the lead through what's called this lead flow, from new lead to attempting to contacted to qualified or disqualified, is just here. That's mind-blowing, and apologies for the I've just realized I've given everybody Gareth email. He's a lovely guy, he won't mind, I'm sure. You can see when the last activity was with that lead, and you can schedule your next activity. So I actually need to email Gareth on Thursday, so I've scheduled that activity, and that's created a task for me that'll be back in my task queue for when the day becomes relevant. It'll be here. It'll show me that I need to do it. I also see my schedule again in detail here. So this is my schedule, and you can see the contacts that I'm meeting with as well, which is really, really useful. And this is my feed. So as a rep, these are all of the emails that have been opened, the people that have read them, all the things that you see in your activity feed, all here in one super useful screen.
So Tony, in my account, obviously I can see the feed, but the others are grayed out. So I guess there's an upgrade required.
Yeah, the leads and the sequences, and those are all Sales Pro features. Yeah. Even Sales Enterprise is just like unbelievable what you can do with these things these days. It's gone from being, I think this is the big takeaway, right? It's going from being a CRM with something called Sales Hub, right? It's now sales software. So one of the things I didn't touch on here, because we're all HubSpot fans, right? Or at least HubSpot users, if not fans, is that functionality that I just showed you works with other CRMs as well. Stands back in amazement. So if you want to bring your leads out of Salesforce, because Salesforce makes a pig's ear out of using leads, anybody who works in Salesforce will tell you that, you can actually bring your leads out of Salesforce and use that software to process your leads, which is just fantastic. You can sync any CRM into it, or at least any of the normal ones if you like. It's standalone sales software. That's why I'm so excited about it, because of a salesperson. And you don't even need to have HubSpot to be able to benefit from that stuff. So that is, I think, absolutely fantastic. If anybody wants more on that, I'm more than happy to do an entire hug session on sales and Sales Hub if that's of value. Equally, I'll do one. We can do one on marketing. We could do one on the AI if you want to. Just let me know. And we'll either do it as a hug, or I'll set up a one-to-one with you guys. I literally know everybody now on your, even Sheriff and Lara, who's gone. If you want, say, a bit of one-to-one on it, just let me know. It's absolutely not a problem.
Just a quick one, Tony. Shouldn't a South Wales hug be called a cwtch?
It should really, yeah. A South Wales cwtch. I did, You haven't got much chance of getting HubSpot to change their branding, unfortunately. But I will mention it. I'll put it up the pipe. I'll put a call into Dharmesh and ask him if he thinks that's a good idea. I can't even get him to include Welsh language, Steve. I'm doing my best.
Yeah,
I'm doing my best, but yes, South Wales Kutch is much
All
better.
right, well, I've got to take like. Does everyone actually speak Welsh? Like, just on this group, and I don't want to be sort of like.
Does anyone speak Welsh at all, or in this
No,
group?
on this group. Yeah, I know. Like, sort of, no, it's just obviously, I like come from Cardiff and all that stuff, and like sort of it's very rare for me to come across someone who does speak Welsh. So, but like if they were to change language, I'm just wondering, does anyone actually on this call speak Welsh?
Well, it's a good question, and the reason I'm on a mission for it is because one of my clients, or a couple of clients that we work with, are actually Welsh government, and they need Welsh.
They do, absolutely. I have the same. I'm selling other solutions into Welsh government, and they have to be bilingual.
No, I'm not doing like no. What I don't want to put across is I'm not diminishing it.
No, I know, I get it.
I just said I'd love to speak it myself. I just don't.
Yeah, I'm learning Welsh, if that counts, but I'm learning it really slowly.
No, I do understand about the government, and I think the media and it's a lot of public sector, isn't it?
So Tatum, you're on. You speak Welsh, Tatum, or was that Afrikaans? I can never remember.
No, it's Afrikaans. Yeah, down here in Africa, no.
Either way,
well,
I
not
can't.
the whole of Africa, obviously. In Namibia, no.
No. I can never understand you when you speak it. So maybe I thought it was. And Franco is gone. Is fluent in French. Christian, I think, is he a French speaker?
French and Spanish.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
so envious of that. Yeah, he's such a show off. You're right. Okay, so
all I've done is introduce the only Welsh word I know.
50 extra HubSpot points, Steve. You can have them in your your retainer.
Actually went into a cafe in Swansea called Cafe Kutch.
Cafe Kutch, there you go. Yeah, very nice too. There's one in Cardiff, isn't there? There's a Kutch bar in Cardiff, I think. Any Cardiffians on? No. Okay. Steph, I would have thought you'd have known that, being a big drinker.
Leave me out with that one.
A recently married, chaste bride, Steph. That's a terrible aspersion to throw at her. Right. The last section is on CRM customization. Right. So, probably the biggest criticism HubSpot would have, if you were in a fight with a Salesforce rep, and I expect none of you probably ever have been, but if you were in a fight with a Salesforce rep, one of the things they would tell you that HubSpot isn't very good at compared to Salesforce is customization. And there's a very specific reason for that, and one I talk about quite a lot, obviously because I'm a HubSpot, I sell HubSpot rather. I'm not a HubSpot rep. I was going to say I'm a HubSpot. I give myself a new job then. And that's because, a bit like Apple and Microsoft, right? Salesforce is like super customizable, super powerful, in fact, but it's this vast, bloated behemoth as well. It's really difficult to use it natively to understand what you're doing. I always joke, Salesforce is the only sales software you have to have an app to use. You have to put an app on top of it so you can actually put your data in, because it's that complicated. But what they used to say is HubSpot's not very customizable, is it? You sort of lock down, and you lock down a bit like Apple locks things down. In so much, once it's locked down, you can't really break it, right? So HubSpot is a lot easier to use, consequently, and much more robust. You're not really going to send off for your Salesforce consultant very regularly using HubSpot, because you probably can't break it. But since last year, when the gentleman's agreement between Salesforce and HubSpot was ended after a 10-year moratorium on competing against each other, HubSpot are going for Salesforce's throat. I think it's fairly plain. I think everybody can see that. And consequently, the CRM especially is becoming increasingly powerful. The CRM is doing what we are calling, is moving upmarket, right? So it's famously mid-market, HubSpot, famously good for medium-sized companies and small companies. The free and starter that we've talked about. Chris is here as a small business HubSpot user, but it's increasingly powerful from an enterprise perspective. As increasingly enterprise-like features in it. And I just want to show you a couple of those really quickly that you may not have come across. So I'm going to dive back into my HubSpot and share again quickly to show you a couple of things. So you'll see some of those things immediately in the CRM. Let me just show you the deal pipeline. So I've customized the deal pipeline, and you can see with the addition of labels. So I've now got labels I can add to the deals, and you can see I've also got this deals insight piece that now shows me everything everybody is working on right at the top end. If I go into my contacts and I pick a contact, I'm going to share myself rather than anybody else here, just to be on the safe side. I go into contact and I share those details. I can see that I've got a lot of information about me here. You're all welcome to take down my phone number and give me a ring or email me. You can also see I've got some what they call extension cards built here. This is a test one I was playing with myself. You can see the communication subscriptions, and you can see this is how many times I've visited our website. I'm probably where our traffic comes from. You can also see the old-fashioned, if you like, the activity screen. This is all the things that happen that involve this contact. In my case, this is me, okay? And I can see, as you were all aware, I can see companies that are associated to me. You'll be unsurprised to see that one's Real Inbound. I can see deals, shared deals, any customer service tickets. All of the usual HubSpot goodness is all here on the right-hand side. But what it's also done now is it's also created this overview tab. And this gives you the ability to see at a glance a summary of whatever it is you choose. And it's giving you the opportunity to create a third tab in HubSpot as well, called a custom tab. So we can see the overview, we can see the activities tab, and now I can add another tab should I want to do it. Obviously, I can't do that because I need to upgrade. This is a Sales Hub Enterprise. So you can add cards to this view. I think I've added them all. I've not added the data highlights view. And you can take cards off that view. So you can customize this view to your heart's content, rather. This is the overview view. You can customize the activity view anyway. If maybe you knew that, maybe you don't. And you can also add a third card and add more data if you're a sales enterprise, which I'm not. You can change the order of those tabs. So there's actually quite a lot that you can do now just to customize this whole view. You can create views for your teams. So if you have a BDR team or an account exec team or a sales engineer team or anything else, Sarah, maybe you've got different brand teams. You can now build views that are dependent on the team and their very specific requirement. You can obviously lock access to that stuff for them as well. We can create associations in HubSpot that we weren't able to do before, called association labels. And this will show you that somebody, for instance, is a decision maker within an account, is a gatekeeper within the account, is an influencer. And those can be added to the customer's record, like so. So if I wanted to add an association, I'm not actually sure where I would do it. Was it perfect preparation prevents piss poor performance? There you go. I've not prepared that properly. Where can I add associations? Sheriff, are you still on? Can you shout to me about my association stage?
No, he came off. Yeah,
okay.
Came out of it.
So you could do it, right? But obviously, I'll just have to show you about it again on the next one. But you saw what the associations themselves were, and we can now customize the create contacts form. We can assign owners by automation, and we can use the AI to make to assign people as well. But we can also customize the whole of the record itself. So we can customize the left sidebar now. We can customize the middle one. So I don't have that one yet. Customize the right and customize these association cards. So if you go to the cards, you'll see the cards that you have, and you'll be able to add or detract and create different cards. So you can put different information on it. If I wanted to see more stuff in there, at the minute I've got job title, email and company. Looks like it's only going to allow me 3, but I can add whatever information I want to add to the card itself. There's a lot of work around customization of life cycle stages as well, and these are now fully customizable. So you don't have to use the HubSpot default ones. You can add your own stages and call them whatever you want to call them, which could be useful, again, for specific teams. And yeah, and that's about it. I think customization wise, applies to contacts, applies to companies, applies to deals. I'm a bit reluctant to show you the live data any more than I already have. So again, if you're interested, then give us a shout and I'll talk through it in specific detail. And finally, we're introducing something called conditional properties. So it's live in one hub at the minute. Charlene, Steph, you've got it in your hub. When a customer lives in a certain deal stage, then an extension card appears here to give you specific information about that deal stage. And then when it moves out of that deal stage, it disappears. So there are a number of things you can do to set this information to appear conditionally. So conditional on the person looking at it, conditional on the deal stage, conditional on the logic that exists within the platform itself. So that's customization covered off as well. It's absolutely loads of stuff. I know. I'm especially excited about Sales Hub and the lead flows and those sorts of things, because I'm a I'm a salesperson. But it's tons. The AI is incredibly exciting. The customization is game changing. They do say if you used HubSpot, Sean, you mentioned it. You said you haven't been in for a while. If you last used HubSpot even 2 months ago, it's a completely different platform. That's how quickly it's evolving. Leanne, I think there's a couple of admins on here. Steph and Charlene are admins as well. You guys, you're more familiar with that than anybody. Every time you go to it, there'll be a new function. There'll be something different that you can do. There'll be an additional customization opportunity for you.
Is that sort of like the question from my perspective is like sort of it's about adding complexities though. It's
I agree. Yeah, and that's why they do. It is kind of gated to pro and enterprise levels. So if you're sort of, dare I say it, unless you require less complexity, you're on free or starter, you don't see this stuff. So you don't have the option to use it and to become overwhelmed by it. But as soon as you start to look at it, yeah, absolutely. And that's why you need a Leanne and a Charlene and a Steph, people who specialize going forward, people who specialize in HubSpot for you, or of course you could use a HubSpot partner. It's not supposed to be a sales pitch, but you get that support. You might need that insight to help you design the solutions now, because it is losing that Apple-ness I talked about, losing that simplicity, that lockdownness. It's becoming increasingly powerful and increasingly customizable, for sure.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Thank you, everyone. Has anybody got any other questions before we wrap it up? I want to try and stay on time. I'm so grateful everybody turned up. Charlene, thank you for bringing along Steph for bringing along Charlene. Sarah, thanks for being here. Akshay, I hope you enjoyed it. Didn't realize you joined us. Hope that was of value to you. And look out for publication of the next event. It'll probably be a month away unless I think of something sooner. And by all means, let me know. If there's something you want to talk about, let me know and we'll feature it in one of these. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Tony.
Absolute pleasure to see you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you. Jam. Your little tra at the end then.